Good evening. Looks like we are up and live, and welcome into the house. It's Wednesday night, so we made it to the middle of the work week, Hump Day, Wind Down Wednesday. Everybody that's watching, why don't you drop down into the comments and tell me what you're drinking on this Wind Down Wednesday. I am drinking high quality H2O, but I will probably be having a nice Tempranillo when I get off because I got some Tempranillo delivered earlier this week. But outside of the wine conversation, we're here to talk about the weather. And there's good news, bad news in the forecast. Good news, if you were here last night, there's not a whole lot of changes in the forecast, but there are some things that are about to happen as we head through the next 24 to 48 hours. Watching temperatures tonight be not as cold as they were last night. Two things working together to allow that to happen. We're dealing with a little bit more clouds, and those winds are gradually coming out of the south, and that's going to keep us just a little bit milder through the overnight. But then we're tracking a cold front that's going to push into the area tomorrow. That cold front is going to bring us a chance for some rain tomorrow night into Friday. More importantly, the winds are going to kick up out ahead of the front and on the back side of the front. The winds out ahead will be out of the south. That's going to warm us up. The winds behind going to be out of the northwest, going to cool us a little bit. And they're going to stay elevated into Saturday, but things trend for the better as we get past the weekend. The numbers will be climbing into the 70s. So I know a lot of you are looking forward to that. You don't have to drive down to South Georgia to get into the 70s. It's coming here, thankfully, as early as next Monday. Although I do expect to see a 70 or 2 or 3 on the map tomorrow, mainly south of I-20. We'll get to those numbers in just a second. Let's talk about where we are now. Upper 50s here inside of the city. You can see we're one of the warmest spots, though, in North Georgia. 59 in Atlanta at Hartsville, Jackson. The mid-50s once you head out into the suburbs. Low 50s the further away you get. And then the upper 40s in the North Georgia mountains. And down in Edenton, 49 degrees. So I expect us to be a little bit cooler over the course of the next few hours, but the numbers do not bottom out in unmanageable territory. I think it's a pretty nice evening for this time of year. 40 degrees is the seasonable number that we should start off today. We'll be at 43 tomorrow morning, so not a bad start to Thursday. Rain chances down to 20%. That's where it's been for the last few days. Expect those showers to start to move in after sunset northwest of the city, eventually moving into the metro closer to midnight, and we'll have the final push early in the morning. Good evening, Wesley, checking in from Ackworth. Good to see you here, buddy. Better chance for showers early Friday morning, but it looks to be moving out before you get out on the roadways. So not expecting any major impacts. And for all of you that are wondering, that's why we haven't issued a First Alert Weather Day, because First Alert Weather Days are for things that are going to impact you, whether it's fog, a little bit of rain, storms, any of those things, cold temps, crazy heat index. All of those things are things that we would issue a First Alert Weather Day for. This is happening overnight, so this is just going to help you all sleep just a little bit better early Friday morning. Here's a look at how we get through the day tomorrow, and you can see temperatures are going to warm up quickly. If you're a person like me who starts work a little bit later in the day, that 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock lunchtime is going to be pretty sweet. Expecting temps to already be flirting with 60 degrees area-wide. We'll warm more as we head into the evening, getting into the upper 60s. I do think that places like LaGrange, Thomaston, even folks down in Jonesboro, you got a good chance of hitting that 70-degree mark tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll watch for some showers to build in later in the evening. You can see that this 8 o'clock rain chance is really north of the city. It's not really looking overly aggressive, some prefrontal showers. Better chance for a cohesive line will move in after midnight. So you can see that line moving into northwest Georgia, northeast Alabama at 1 a.m., pushing to the south and east, and by around 6 a.m. it's already gone. Now, I will say that you will probably hear some stray rumbles of thunder embedded in that line, but there's not enough energy and instability for us to get much of a severe weather risk out of this system, so not terribly concerned about that. I think that this is really just going to be a primary rain event and maybe a little bit of thunder and lightning. Not going to get those damaging winds, 60, 70 miles per hour, so no worries there. Meanwhile, by Friday, that northwest wind will knock those temperatures down a few degrees. Most locations only top out in the lower 60s. The only chance of getting some warmer numbers than that will be areas further east. Remember, the winds are going to shift on the back end and become northwest, and that northwest wind will keep us a little bit cooler. Yeah, Kevin, that's what's up. Alrighty, I mentioned the winds, and the winds are going to be breezy tomorrow, gusting 20, maybe 25 miles per hour out of the southwest, and that's why we expect to get into the upper 60s despite seeing a little bit more clouds tomorrow. But heading into Friday, those winds are going to be gusting out of the northwest, 25, 30, and that's what's really going to add that little bit of a chill. So while it's not going to be cold on Friday, you will be like, okay, hey, it feels a little different. It's going to be some drier air building in, and it's going to be a bit breezy, so and cooler. So there's your Friday forecast. I'm concerned a little bit about Saturday because guidance continues to trend a little bit cooler with this. I'll be honest, there's probably a little part of me that just doesn't want to put 59 on this map for Saturday. I think that my mind is telling me that meteorologically we'll probably only top out at 59, but there's a lot of sun, and there's a chance that we could hit that 60 at the airport. So I'm keeping the 60 right now. Just don't be surprised tomorrow if we change it to 59. It's trending cooler, and it's also going to be on the breezy side. So Saturday, not picture perfect, but not terrible. It's February. It's supposed to be borderline chilly anyway, so we should be okay there. Sunday's looking a little bit better, but we've nudged that high down a degree or two. Looks like we'll still be under a little bit of northwest flow for the first half of the day. That should break apart a little bit. Will not be as breezy, but expecting temperatures to only get into the low to mid 60s area wide. So still a pretty solid Sunday. I'm still going to be Sunday fun daying, and I still think you should too. And then that 7-day forecast, of course, with the weekend in view shows that once we get past the rain chances tomorrow night into Friday morning, things look pretty good for us and pretty quiet. We'll see a little bit of a cool down heading into the start of the weekend, but by Sunday we're on the up and up. Temperatures will begin to start to trend northward and will start to warm, looking at a daytime high near 71 degrees on Monday. Clouds will build Tuesday into Wednesday, but I still expect that south wind, which is really going to start to increase on Wednesday, going to be a little breezy, 25, 30 miles per hour gusts look plausible on Wednesday. That should get us to 74. I'm a bit conservative with that number. Watch the Wednesday number. We may throw that up a couple degrees because the winds are going to be so elevated that we'll probably get at least a 75 or 76. It's just too far out for me to throw up a big number like that right now. But that's something that we're going to be fine-tuning over the course of the week. And then there's another system right now that's tracking to move in on Thursday. So while there is no first alert weather day in the forecast, we're already keeping our eye on day 8, 9, and 10. Looks like we could have another system that brings us a chance for some rain on Thursday. So we'll have a better look at that tomorrow. That will be added to the 7-day forecast tomorrow, and we'll talk more about it then. For now, just give you a heads up on everything that we're tracking as far as this forecast goes. So I don't see any questions in the chat. Y'all know I don't like to hold you long. I am going to throw this 7-day forecast up full screen so that you all can get a good look at it. And we will catch you on Peachtree TV News at 10 tonight. Have a fantastic evening.